Wonderkids. Every Football Manager player loves to sign Wonderkids. Now, of course, there are those names out there that are the well-known Wonderkids that cost big money, but what's better than a well-known Wonderkid? A bargain Wonderkid. In today's video, I'm going to show you some players that you can sign for relatively cheap and develop into world beaters. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you a player that starts the game valued at £12,000 and can go on to be valued after 10 years at 34 to 102 million pounds. Before I jump in though and show you those names, please don't forget to like this video, and if you are looking for more FM26 content, subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty more coming in the weeks and months that follow the game's release. Right then, let's jump into the video and show you the names that you can sign and turn into potential world beaters. The first player in today's video is a La Masia product. This is Sama Nomoko. Nomoko starts the game as part of Barcelona's B team and is valued at £375,000 to £1.1 million. He operates mainly as a wide player, either playing wide right or wide left, but can also operate through the middle if you need him. At the beginning of the game, you can see he really is a work in progress, but he does start the game with good physicals. He has 15 for acceleration, 15 for pace, 16 for natural fitness. He also has 15 for flair, 14 determination, and 11 for aggression. And in terms of the technicals, there's plenty to work on, but he starts off with 12 for dribbling and 11 for technique. So even though he doesn't start the game looking like a wonder kid, in 10 years' time, he looks like this. Now, at the age of 27, he's playing for Real Betis and he's valued between 37 to 111 million pounds. Looking at the attributes, there is clear progression in all three categories. He scores highly in the physicals, his agility, his natural fitness, and his pace. In the mentals, it's flair, determination, decisions, vision, and work rate. And in the technicals, he scores highly for dribbling and first touch. He's a player that is going to fly under the radar in a lot of saves. Make sure you check him out in your game. The next player that I'm going to take a look at is a Japanese attacking midfielder. This is Yumeki Yokoyama. He's a 19-year-old attacking midfielder who starts the game at Imabari in Japan. He's valued between 450,000 to 1.4 million. He operates mainly as a central attacking midfielder, but can also play off of the left wing and double up as a striker if needed. Looking at his attributes at the start of the game, his game is built around his physicals. He has 14 acceleration, 14 pace, and 15 for strength. In the mentals, he has 15 for determination, 14 for work rate, and 14 for aggression. And in terms of the technicals, it's 13 for dribbling, 12 for finishing, and 13 for his heading. So at the start of the game, he looks like a raw potential ability player, but in 10 years' time, he turns into this. At the age of 29, he now plays for Al Ettifaq, and he's valued between 37 to 111 million pounds. Looking at the attributes, he has developed fantastically across the 10 years. In the physicals, it's still his agility, pace, stamina, strength, and acceleration that stand out. In the mentals, he's developed brilliantly with off the ball, work rate, vision, aggression, anticipation, composure, concentration, and decisions all standing out. And in those technicals, 17 now for finishing, 14 for dribbling, 13 for first touch, 13 for heading, 14 for technique. He's a player that has come on leaps and bounds. Will you try and sign him in FM26? Up next, we are looking at a Senegalese player who starts the game at Generation Foot. He's valued at just 40 to £110,000. This is Amara Diouf. He's a player that can play anywhere at the top end of the pitch, mainly as an attacking midfielder on the left, the right, or through the centre, and can also double up as a makeshift striker. Early on in the game, you're going to notice he has plenty of potential. Looking at all three groups of attributes, starting off with the physicals, agility of 14, strength of 12, acceleration of 12. And then in the mentals, he scores 20 for determination, 16 for flair, 13 for teamwork, 12 for vision, and 12 for aggression. And in the technicals, it is dribbling, heading, passing, and technique that are all standout attributes. So he looks like this at the start of the game. How does he look in 10 years' time? And the answer is fantastic. Now, at the age of 27, Amara Diouf is at Sporting and he's valued at 47 to 142 million pounds. Looking at his attributes, there is clear development everywhere in terms of the physicals, agility of 17, acceleration of 15, pace, stamina and strength all score 14. In his mentals, decisions of 16, determination of 20, flair of 17, vision, concentration, composure, all scoring highly too. And then in the technicals, 15 for crossing, 15 for dribbling, 13 first touch, 13 long shots, 13 passing, and technique of 15. This is a wonder kid that is really going to fly under the radar. Make sure that you scout him and attempt to sign him as soon as you can. Next up, we are taking a look at a Danish attacking player. This is Malik Ping Pong. He starts the game at FC Midtjylland and is valued at 325,000 to 1 million pounds. He's a player that can play mainly as a striker, but also doubles up as a left-sided attacking midfielder and a right-sided attacking midfielder too. Looking at the attributes at the start of the game, he may not look like very much at all, but he's very much a player that will develop as you go along. At the start of the game, standout attributes are acceleration, natural fitness and pace. He also has good dribbling, finishing, first touch and passing. Believe me, in 10 years' time, you're going to see that there is a lot of development as he now looks like this. As at the age of 27, he's now a senior player at Midtjylland and he's valued at 9.2 to 27 million pounds. Looking at the development in terms of his attributes, it is clear for everyone to see he has taken massive steps forward. In the physicals, he has high scoring acceleration, agility, natural fitness, pace, stamina and strength. In the mentals, it's anticipation, composure, decisions, determination, off the ball and work rate. And in the technicals, he scores very highly for crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch, heading and technique. This really is a wonder kid who is going to fly under the radar. Make sure that you go and try and sign him whilst he's a bargain. The fifth player that I'm going to take a look at is a young South African who starts the game in Cape Town City's under-19s. Now, you may need an extended database to find this player, but you should be loading up these nations because he's well worth a find. He starts the game valued at 100,000 to 300,000 pounds and is an attacking player who can play across the attacking midfield positions and also double up as a striker. Looking at the player at the beginning of the game, he has lots of raw potential. In the physicals, it's his acceleration, pace, natural fitness, balance and agility. In the mentals, flair of 16, determination of 13, off the ball of 12, teamwork of 12 and vision of 12. And in the technicals, he's set up with 16 dribbling, 14 first touch, 11 passing and 14 technique. He, at the start of the game, looks like an absolute steal because in 10 years' time, at the age of 26, he turns into this. Now a player at Club Brugge in Belgium, he's valued at 19 to 57 million pounds. And when we take a look at his attributes, you can see exactly why he's a wonder kid you need to load these leagues for. In terms of the physicals, big steps forward in his acceleration, his agility, his balance and his pace. In the mentals, anticipation, composure, decisions, flair of 17, 15 off the ball, 16 for vision. And in the technicals, 17 for his dribbling, 16 for his first touch, 12 for finishing. He scores 13 for passing and 15 for technique. This is a player you must load these leagues for because if you can get him at the start of the game, you're going to get an absolute elite wonder kid at a bargain price. Next, we're looking at a German wonder kid who can play in a multitude of positions. This is Fadi Zarqelain. He starts the game in Borussia Dortmund under-19s and he's valued between 700,000 to 2.2 million pounds. Looking at his attributes, we can see that he's set up to have a lot of future potential ability. In terms of the attributes, he scores highly for physicals of acceleration, agility, natural fitness and pace. In terms of the mentals, he has 16 for flair and 11 for vision. And in the technicals, he has 14 for dribbling and 13 for first touch to go alongside his passing and technique, which score highly too. Now, don't be alarmed that he does not look like a great wonder kid now, because in 10 years' time, he looks like this. At the age of 26, he has switched his nationality to Moroccan and now plays in the Premier League for Burnley. valued at £22 million. Looking at the attributes, he has taken clear steps forward in the physicals, his acceleration, his agility, balance, natural fitness, pace, stamina, and strength. In the mentals, he still scores highly for flair with 16, but he has now rounded it off with anticipation, decisions, determination, off the ball, and vision. And in those technicals, he has 16 for his dribbling, 14 for first touch, 12 for passing, and 14 for technique. This is a player that can really develop into a true wonder kid. Make sure you look for him early in FM26. Next up, I'm taking a look at the first Brazilian wonder kid on this list. This is Ryan Francisco. He's 18 years old and starts the game at Sao Paulo. He's valued at £230,000 to £700,000. Unfortunately, he starts the game with an ACL injury, which puts him out for about 11 months. So he's one that you're going to have to scout for the future. But looking at the attributes, he scores highly in all three categories. In the physicals, it's acceleration, agility, balance, and pace. In the mentals, he scores highly for anticipation, composure, decisions, and off the ball. And in the technicals, it's dribbling, finishing, first touch, heading, and technique. So, with that long-term injury, is it going to stifle him? Not really, because in 10 years' time, he looks like this. As at the age of 28, he now plays for Hoffenheim and he's valued at £33 to £99 million. Looking at those attributes, he has taken steps forward everywhere. In the physicals, acceleration, agility, balance, pace all score highly. In the mentals, the standouts are anticipation, off the ball, composure, concentration. And then in the all-important technicals, 17 for finishing, 15 dribbling, 15 first touch, 16 for heading, and 13 for technique. He really is one of those that once he gets over that injury, you develop him, he's going to be an elite wonder kid. Next up, I'm taking a look at a 16-year-old Georgian defender. This is Saba Kharebashvili. He starts the game with Dinamo Tbilisi's under-19s team and he's valued at £750,000 to £2.2 million. He's mainly operating as a left wing back or a left back, can also play through the centre. Looking at the attributes, he's set up really well. Standing at 6 foot tall, his physicals read acceleration, agility, natural fitness, pace and stamina, scoring highly. In the mentals, the standouts are his determination, his aggression, bravery, composure, teamwork, vision and work rate. And in the technicals, it's crossing, first touch, marking, passing, tackling and technique. Now, he's set up to go on and have a great career because across the next 10 years, he looks like this. Now, at the age of 27, he's playing for Real Betis and he's valued between 37 to £111 million. Looking at the attributes, there is clear progression in all three categories. He scores highly in the physicals, his agility, his natural fitness and his pace. In the mentals, it's flair, determination, decisions, vision and work rate. And in the technicals, he scores highly for dribbling and first touch. He's a player that is going to fly under the radar in a lot of saves. Make sure you check him out in your game. The next player that I'm taking a look at is the second Brazilian wonder kid on this list. This is Wesley Nata. He's 17 years old, starts the game in Fluminense's under-20s team, and he's valued at £650,000 to £1.9 million. He plays mainly as an attacking midfielder in the wide areas, both on the left or the right, can also double up for you as a striker. Looking at the attributes, he may not seem like the strongest wonder kid on this list, but you have to give him time. In terms of the attributes, the standouts early are his acceleration, his agility, his natural fitness, his pace. In the mentals, his determination, flair, off the ball and work rate. And in the technicals, he scores 15 for dribbling, 12 for first touch and 12 for technique. And as I said, he may not look strong at the start of the save, but in 10 years' time, he develops into this. As at the age of 27, he's now playing for Everton in the Premier League. He's valued at 45 to £135 million. Looking at the attributes, he has come on leaps and bounds. In terms of the physicals, he now scores 17 for his agility, scores highly for acceleration, balance, natural fitness, pace, stamina and strength. In the mentals, it's his decisions and flair that are real standouts with off the ball, composure and determination, also scoring highly. And in the technicals, he has taken big steps forward there too. 16 for dribbling, 15 crossing, 15 first touch, 16 for technique, and he scores highly for long shots, marking and passing too. This is a player that you really want to check out early on in the game. As I said, it may not look like it at the beginning. This is a wonder kid that you should be signing. Okay then, if you've made it this far into the video, I promise to show you a player that can develop from a £12,000 player into a multi-million pound player. And that player is Ariel. He's 18 years old. He plays as a left back or a central defender, and he starts the game in Real Madrid's under-19s team. He starts valued at just £4,000 to £12,000. Now, looking at the player, I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, he does not look like much. And you'd be fair in that assessment. But looking at the attributes, if you scratch the surface, there is something there. In terms of the physicals, acceleration, pace, stamina, and strength. In the mentals, he only scores highly for decisions and determination. And in the technicals, he scores 12 for heading and 13 for tackling. Now, he may not look like anything now, but in 10 years' time, look at the player he becomes. As at the age of 28, he now plays for Monaco and is valued at 34 to £102 million. Looking at the player, it is clear he has had remarkable development. In terms of the attributes, in the physicals, 16 acceleration, 16 pace, 15 stamina, 15 strength. In the mentals, 18 for decisions, 15 anticipation, 14 concentration, 13 determination, and 14 for positioning. And in the technicals, 16 for tackling, 15 for marking, and 15 for heading. This player has developed fantastically and could be a real bargain. If you pick him up early and can get this kind of development out of him, you will have an absolute gem of a player. Right then, there we go. Those are 10 names that you should be looking at in FM26. Bargain wonder kids that I feel are really going to go under the radar. You should try and pick up early on in your games. Will you try and sign any of these players? Let me know in the comments section down below.